All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the No Logic tournament. This is the first race, and we've got dotdot versus Amarith. I'm Chex Human, and I'm joined by JD Silvergun. Hello, JD.
Hello, sorry. I forgot that I had my Discord muted. How embarrassing. Sorry about that.
I can hear you, so that's good. Our
How are
runners
you?
are about to start. And they are off. Dotdot starts in Sanctuary, and there is the flute.
Flute is really nice to see early. You get the most value out of it the sooner you get it.
Yeah. And it's really helpful for trips to the potion shop in No Logic.
Yep, that is true. There's no faster way. And we see the lamp in Bancroft. That is a very important item. Would you like to tell us why for our audience members that may not know?
Yeah, we say that it's very helpful for index setting. And what that is it's the first part of a setup to use a glitch called hook pushing, as well as other Ancilla glitches. So it's really nice because lamp is one of the easiest ways to achieve that.
Amarith doing the back of escape swim clip opener and was successful at it.
Nice.
Not a super big fan of this opener, but if it's a seed without any gloves and there's something good back here, it does give you a huge advantage.
It is slow to get started, but at the same time, Amarith has checked 3 items in the time that dotdot has collected 1 or 2. So that is a nice way to collect 3 items.
You do make a good point about the density, although surely Amarith will follow a similar route on the west side of the map to what Dot Dot is doing right now. At some point.
Yeah. So next up is a check of the green pendant. It is Dark Palace. So Palace of Darkness has our green pendant. That's one of the easier bosses to defeat. Helma. You never know. We might see it. So this is full dungeon item shuffle, and we have our keys all over the world. And that's helpful in No Logic. It helps us explore Cave State. And it's our standard way of playing No Logic.
But we don't like to see Pod or Thieves Town as pendants in this mode. I think those are two of the easier dungeons to tackle. They require the least amount of items, like to do it. I
Right.
would say generally.
Right. So now we're seeing some overworld glitching, and Marith is doing a fake flipper and can immediately check Hobo. This is often an early play.
And Dot Dot earlier did what was called the new DMA. I don't know if we're still calling it that because it's a few years
Mm-hmm.
old, but it is able to rescue the old man without lifting up the rock, and then does a DMD or Death Mountain descent to Graveyard Ledge. It finds the red boomerang, which may have some special uses later. We'll see.
It's like the new Super Mario Brothers. The name will never change. So
And
now Amarith is attempting another swim EG. So this is a slope swim that will take her to Ice Rod Cave.
sometimes it's a little tricky to get good momentum. I find that mashing the face buttons while like releasing the D-pad can kind of fix that, but it is a little weird sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And dotdot is going for the same play. Meanwhile, Amarith appears to be checking the waterfall next, getting through crabs with 3 hearts, 2.5. So it's time for a water walk. We get a check of the island. It is the Cane of Samaria.
I can't believe neither of them checked that, like, yet until just now. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense you can do it while you're water walking, but I don't know. I thought people would just, look at it on the way to the going under the bridge.
Yeah, I
But
do it the way they do. So
oh, okay.
I oftentimes
All right.
am missing that for a long time. Just depends on your play style.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so here we have the shovel. Amarith will overworld glitch to it, and
Um,
there may be a bit of a walk around the woods to get there.
all right. If anyone wants to learn the faster way to do this clip, I would be happy to educate them about it. But it will be hard to explain it just on commentary. But you can jump directly to the item. So it's a little painful to see this for a shovel, which is unknown value. But
Yeah,
I don't blame them for not, leaving it though.
right. We don't know if it has value. So maybe we'll find out right now. No, we won't. Not right now.
The suspense is building. I
Mhm.
gotta go for the Cane of Samaria first.
Yes.
I
All
think
right. So
dot dot
how
dot
does
does it
dot
the
dot?
fast way.
Yeah, let's see this technique. There's a couple of different ways. So there we go. Very nice. A
Oh,
hop
that was
onto
even
the.
faster than the one I know. Huh.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. I know there's a couple of different setups. There must be even more. All right, now Amarith gets the ocarina. Will she be activating it?
Yeah, I do find it odd that dot dot didn't activate the flute because you are saving time if you flute to the mountain versus doing like a glitch DMA.
Hmm.
But I mean, maybe just doesn't want to go to town early, like without money or without bombs.
Uh-huh. That's fair. And it's fast to get bombs from Graveyard Ledge, and we did see that. All right, next up for Amarith is Lost Woods, and dot dot is now going to Kakariko. In fact, the first runner there. Starting with Blind's Hat. Just a Skullwoods map so far.
The maps are very appreciated in this mode, in my experience.
For sure. Yeah. They're we want information oftentimes more often than we have access to it. So sometimes we have to make guesses.
Yeah, and a lot of these bosses are like out of the way. Like if you do a statue drag to Helmasaur glitch shit and then fight the boss, especially with like mediocre equipment, that adds like 3 minutes to your completion time. So you really want every boss you kill to be a crystal boss if you can help it.
We have the Eastern Big Key. We also saw the mirror in the well. So that will be useful for glitches.
And yeah, that's an interesting thing about this mode is that we use big keys in other dungeons than the ones that they are meant for. And I'm sure we'll see that a little bit later when that happens.
Ether Medallion was also in the well.
And mirror is a really good item as well.
Yeah, it's so helpful for general navigation, especially in combination with the flute, of course.
Yeah, the mirror is all around a great item for both intended and not intended purposes.
Yeah.
Especially because in glitched rando we have something that is patched out of normal rando called fake worlds. So sometimes having a mirror can save a lot of time and backtracking, and it
Hmm.
just lightens the load on your other glitch items just by having it.
Yeah. Glitch modes are interesting because they require a bit of vanilla game knowledge, and we can use some of the hurtful glitches basically to our advantage, and just some of the things that don't work in rando. Um, so, oh, Amarith gets a fairy from the chicken lady and frees the chicken.
Yes, freeing the chicken is very important. I mean, I do it every time, and I'm actually not kidding. I know not many people do it anymore, but
Hmm.
one of my old rando inspirations that I used to watch a lot, uh, would always do it. Um, I don't know if they would want me to name them, so I won't, but
Do you remember what year that was? Since I kind of missed this meme.
oh, it's a runner, a very well-known runner in the non-glitch community who has taken a bit of a step back from the competitive scene lately.
And by the way, Amarith is using fake powder with powder because she has no magic power. But thankfully, the cane can stand in for having magic.
Using regular legal glitches for competitive rules set and no logic. I mean, I guess you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah. All right. So what is dotdot doing?
Oh, this is North Samaria.
Yes.
Transition corruption.
Right. So there's the corruption. We just saw the screen move very slightly. So what he did was load the screen north of that one, and what it is Thieves Town. So a transition left takes him back to the room that would be to the left of that room, and we can transition normally from there. Now, north-south transitions are broken, but we don't need to pursue this dungeon anymore. We can steal a
Yeah,
key and leave.
having the mirror is convenient, it saves the death warp, but these Samaria corruptions kind of slide pieces of the map around, so that's why, like, the rooms don't connect the way they normally would. But also, if that item in that attic chest had been something useful, another effect of the corruption is that it writes data from the desert big key chest. Or the compass, one of them. I don't remember which one, but it writes the data from one of those onto that chest, so it's easily
Mm-hmm.
possible to dupe that item with Mirror and Samaria. So if it was a sword, I would be surprised to see dot dot dupe the sword 2 or 3 times. Ice Rod.
Nice rod. And dot takes advantage of having that small key from the pot in Thieves Town to use in desert.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that because, like, we could have gotten into that room anyway, but it is way more convenient to do so with the key than without.
Mm-hmm. More clipping in the overworld. Half magic. High five from our runners, by the way. Half magic is in cave 45.
Half magic is a very strong safety item.
It
You
is.
always want to see that. Especially since some of the glitches we use to reach bosses involve using potions, so you won't have those potions for backup safety most of
Oh,
the
that's a good
time.
point. Yeah. So we have Amarith with the South Shore play. Dot going to Aegina.
not even gonna pick up that 20? I mean, you got 66 rupees.
Amarith needs to be careful going into Mini Moldorm Cave with 1 heart.
Yeah, this is not good. How is she gonna bomb juke unless she gets like a heart piece refill?
Yeah. Oftentimes we do get a heart here. But even 2 hearts is too low, depending on your gameplay.
I expect to get hit once. I know technically it's possible to do it without getting hit at all, but I'm not fast enough to do it like that, though. Oh,
Okay,
she's not
so
even going for it.
yeah, and
There's a
there is
way
a
to get
heart.
the... Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I was just going to say that what I was referring to is there's a way to get the King's Tomb item by doing a door glitch called a bomb juke, and that's what we were discussing, but she didn't go for it. We'll see if dotdot goes for it.
Thought also skipped the 20. Hey, Amarith is... What is she doing?
Well,
To me, it looks like
dotdot
a map
isn't
wrap.
broke.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Good point. So this is the bomb juke. And let's see how this setup is working. Oh, okay, so that was the throw. Oh, that was it. Nice.
It doesn't correct the camera for us, so we'll have to be left in suspense as to what the item is.
Yeah.
I didn't see if the rupees or like bombs or arrows increased. I missed it. The rupees look the same, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Amarith appeared to be doing an upwards teleport. We saw Link teleport upwards, but that's not a place where Link can reach the upper platform, unfortunately. There are other ways to get there. The cape is in Hera.
Pendant here also. One of the other
Oh,
dungeons we don't like to see as a pendant is also a
yeah.
pendant in this seed.
This is gonna be a challenging seed. A sword is in Hera map chest. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I bet dotdot is like already thinking about tree warping that sword.
Yeah, so no logic players are screaming dupable in chat because we can take advantage of it being a progressive sword and collect it again if we can close that chest. And there are a couple of different ways to do that. We may or may not see that in this race, but it is a possibility.
Oh, that sword. Well, we have Samaria too, but even if we didn't, I was gonna say dotdot is a overworld conveyor cloud setup enthusiast. So with the lamp and the sword, we can easily set up a conveyor now, which is another
Yes.
one of those misslotting type glitches you were talking about earlier.
Yes, that's right. We oftentimes have the ability to conveyor before we have the ability to hook push, since hook pushing requires a hook shot. So, oh, here we go. We get a different kind of King's Tomb check from Amarith, the overworld clip.
Yeah, it's funny the way the game works. If you're standing on top of the rock, it doesn't check if you actually are supposed to be able to pick it up or not.
Okay, that gave us the visual that Bombos is there. That means dotdot also has Bombos.
The bombos, it is a weapon for cold stare.
Yeah.
But other than that, we do not know the value of it yet. But we like to see medallions though, because if Meyer is a crystal, basically skipping the medallion for Meyer is a lengthy process, so it's undesirable if we can avoid it.
So Amarith's sprite yeeted across the screen. That was not the clip that she wanted to go for. That particular clip can be used, but that's not what she was going for. So this
Yeah,
is
I
the
thought
Hera
she was
clip.
just going to pod, yeah. And maybe it was just too high up to get the Hera clip on the left side.
Yeah. At this point, pod is a pretty good play because we have a sword and mirror and lamp, so we can pretty much do the whole thing if we wanted to. Not sure if we'll see it soon. Amarith is apparently taking a break or thinking about the next play. Yeah, this would
know
be a
Dot
good
Dot
time to
going
look
for
up the
the.
dupe. Yeah,
Oh,
I agree with Tam. Like, now would be a perfectly acceptable time to do it because it takes 0 items. We can, for example, use the beetle room jingle glitch and simply walk down the stairs at the same time that the beetles are cleared.
oh, I forgot about that. That's a good point. But Dot Dot unfortunately overshoots the spot for the swim clip to the back of Escape, so that is a bit of an unfortunate time loss. But Dot Dot doesn't know there was nothing helpful back there, but it's probably going to weigh on his mind a little bit.
Yeah. It's kind of a particular setup. There's different setups, but you have to kind of know them pretty well.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can't turn around while swim clipping, and he went past like the X coordinates that work.
Yeah, if I can post a link, I can share a clip of how that works for anyone interested, or I can put it in the Discord. That would probably be more appropriate for our tournament. Regardless, Amarith is using Mirror, apparently, taking on right side of the mountain. Oh, we get information. So there we go. TR is a pendant. So that is a nice gesture from the seed.
Well, after Dot Dot already has the ice rod, though.
Yeah, that's too bad. That won't be useful there. Ice rod can be helpful in other ways because it creates ancilla, it creates sparkles, so it can be nice for mislotting.
It's also a strong weapon. It one-shots like the blue guards,
It
and
does,
it's
yeah.
good against Argus and Landmolas as well.
Yeah.
Right, so what Dot Dot did was do what is called a offset mirror portal. And you see now he's going into the portal that he set from the Dark World on the mountain. And it looks like Amarith is also setting up the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Has less map info than Dot Dot, though. So just so everyone knows, you don't need to reset the camera if you are going to use the flute. If you're going to do a DMD to reach the castle, then you need to reset the camera. So just a little time save for anyone that's not aware of that. So far, nothing in Hyrule Castle for Dot Dot. However, there's a very important key in this castle, though.
Yes, that would be a big key. So the big key is never shuffled. It's always the Hyrule Castle big key. And that key can be used in cave state. And so if we find a big key door while in a cave, for some reason the Hyrule Castle key can open it. It's one of a few keys that have that property. And yeah, the Hyrule Castle is a reliable place to go to get it.
Yeah, especially because they haven't found any of the other ones that work. There were no Ganon's Tower, Big Key, or Pod, or Thieves Town. The Key of Swamp. It's not terribly an impressive find, but they wanted the Castle Big Key anyway.
Amarith is mirroring. Could it be? Yes, it's a cape entry into Aga Tower. And she has a key. Bombos is a good play here.
Yeah, and nobody wants to do the 16/gold guards.
Yeah.
So there actually was a glove in Uncle. I missed if dotdot went in there yet, but gloves are really good convenience items, and they unlock a couple checks that are, pretty difficult to get without them. Like the checkerboard would be one of them, but they already did the
Right.
back of escape, so it has slightly less value. But maybe dotdot will go to the back of escape now with the glove.
Yeah. And with mirror and glove, our players can do blockbuster. But we probably won't see that.
I still haven't learned that. And, it looks cool, but it's super niche. Oh, this is an interesting setup. Dot is using the
Oh yeah.
bomb fuse as a timer to stop on one of the last 2 pixels on the north side of the screen to set up a door glitch, a YBA, Yuzuhara's Bottle Adventure. That one of its effects, in this case, is that it takes us to a different room where that transition doesn't normally go, into Thieves Town, in Cave State. I like the use of that bomb mechanic, even though I don't use it myself. It just 'cause the fighter sword visual cue is a little trickier to read than with one of the larger swords. And they did it on the first attempt too, which is really nice.
Yeah, and shout outs to Wolfie, who played in the last tournament 2 years ago for finding that technique. I think we call it time bomb.
Oh yeah. Yes.
So dotdot has a very bright screen right now. This is LSD blind, and it is used essentially to keep the door open. It interrupts the boss fight, and the door doesn't shut here.
Oh, and the reason why we don't want the door to shut is because the game doesn't know that dotdot is in the dungeon Thieves Town. As far as the game is concerned, dotdot is in a cave, and because of that, the prize of the dungeon, in this case we know it's a crystal already, will not drop from the ceiling, and you'll be trapped in the room. Well, technically not trapped, but they aren't allowed to use the compass to escape, which is a weird glitch that hasn't been patched out of the randomizer yet.
Right, that came out with the version of Rando that came out recently. So a pretty interesting and surprising thing for us to encounter. But we, for this tournament, have agreed to not collect it.
And just a heart container in the chest game, which, yeah, is nice, but not what you're hoping to see. And also, I saw earlier that Amarith got the Meyer Big Key in Castle Tower. We'll have to see if that becomes relevant or not. If we actually have front door access to Meyer, the Big Keys can save a lot of time and hassle with glitches.
Yeah.
The dotdot is probably not going to check the Castle Tower stuff because he already was there and didn't do it.
Okay, so dotdot is returning to Thieves Town, and will be collecting the prize, and already knows it's a C crystal.
Yes, so the way the game works is when you enter like the front door of a dungeon, that is when the ID is set. So that is why we were not able to grab the prize before. And Dada knew this was a crystal from the earlier map check as well.
Mhm. Okay, so now it's Amarith's time to use the North STC to break into Thieves Town. So there's the North STC. And we see her, by the way, walk along the bottom of the hallway. And then at the transition, she appears at the top of this hallway. So we have to be careful there not to get stuck. So that position allows us to get through.
That's showing us an example of the fake worlds, having to mirror twice, once from fake dark world to real dark world to real light world. To get a boomerang from Sick Kid, which is,
Oh, nice.
maybe useful.
Amarith is returning into desert and going to the center of desert, which is interesting. I'm not totally sure. She has a small key. So what is this setup? So essentially, she appears to be saving a key. She's setting up for the quadrant glitch, which is a way to get to the right side.
I could think of a few reasons you might want to save that key. Like if you're going to Mire from desert and you can't hover and you don't have the hook shot, you typically need a key for that. I don't know if that's what she's thinking or not, but it's the first thing that came to mind for me.
Yeah, that would be the first thing coming to mind. Amarith did not steal a key, no. Oh, wait. No, I thought she went only to the right. Damn, I'm not sure.
I mean, she has a key on her HUD right now.
Yeah. All right, so dotdot is going to Eastern. I believe he has the Eastern big key, but no bow and arrow. So it's okay. We can still complete the dungeon.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if Dada decides to go for the boss, or just uses a potion glitch, the YBA, to go to Mire or something like that. I mean, or it could do both, possibly. The reason why I was thinking you may want to put off the boss in this situation is because it's a little bit slow. 'Cause you have to do 2 quadrant glitches, and you have to do some pretty specific enemy manipulation to open the doors. And also, once they get to the boss, well, I suppose it'll be a good fight with Burna. So sometimes you don't have good equip, and the fight is really slow, on top of it being slow to get there. But that won't be the case this time.
Amarith is looking at the slope going down to desert, and either the second bump, which she's on, or the third bump will work. The second bump is interesting because it would get us stuck normally, but since it's on a transition, we get to transition down.
That doing a different quadrant glitch than the one I was thinking. Yeah. This is used in the vanilla all bosses speedrun to get the big key early.
Yeah, it is. Thanks to Mr. Buyer for finding out about this one.
I have no idea what that item was, do you?
I do not know what it was, no. Alright, so with careful camera correction, dotdot has synced the camera once again and is able to take any transition.
Yeah, that's interesting to see this routing. If you have the mirror, I think it's better to just do the juke to get to that chest and then mirror back to the front. But this works too. It's still faster than going all the way around the right side.
Yeah, my question is, did dot dot get the right side chest? That I have found difficult to route in.
He went to get it first and then backtracked to do the quadrant glitch.
Ah, okay. All right, so dot dot is performing a quadrant glitch to spin off of the Igor, and he has to do it 2 times.
Yes, the first time is to break the camera, and then the second time is to reestablish the correct info with the game because otherwise your transitions will not be stable. And in this case, it creates a soft lock. Sometimes an unstable transition can be used to our advantage, but we want a broken camera with stable transitions for this one.
It appears the transition is good, so dot dot's all set. And did we already talk about how we're going to move the red Igors off screen?
I briefly glossed over it. This room is easy. The next room can get
Yeah.
kind of tricky.
There it goes.
And meanwhile, Amarith doing a spin YBA with a potion glitch in a door
Oh,
with a sword spin release to
I missed
reach
it.
the boss of Desert. He
Fast
gets a
setup
big
for dot
key.
dot.
The big key of Desert on the boss of Desert will
Oh,
probably lead to a backtrack to check the big chest.
I didn't realize dot dot has Burna. That is so helpful here,
Yeah, definitely.
especially with half magic. So
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier, is sometimes skipping the bow is well and good, but if you don't have any weapons to kill the boss quickly, it can be a real slog. Even if it's not dangerous, it is slow sometimes.
yeah, so um, we have the ability with an unlocked camera to dupe items from the individual Armo statue, and I've seen you do it, JD. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
And
I actually wasn't doing it on purpose at that time, but it just happened that the one on the right and the one on the left were the last two to go. But
yeah,
yeah, important part of the tournament rules is that all 6 of them must be defeated.
yes,
So you can't just get the crystal to drop early.
yeah. But we can get
So
2 items from 2 of the statues if we wanted to. And we also saw Amarith use a spin Samaria, which is a pretty nice trick to get us into Turtle Rock.
as intrigued by the sprouting as I am, I must say I'm very curious what's in the desert big chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're stuck here now because we had to re-enter the dungeon to correct the camera and sprites. So Amarith is committed to this part of the world, essentially.
And meanwhile, Dot Dot does a glitch called Kiki Skip, which is a clip through a wall to reach the Palace of Darkness from Death Mountain, the Spectacle Rock Cave.
Yo, value. The Moon Pearl is in Turtle Rock.
I feel like that's a somewhat common location for that.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Ice Rod number 2 for Dot Dot in the big chest of Pod.
I agree. It's a spicy Moon Pearl. And nice sword.
Master Sword, yeah, in the dark maze of Pod. Big key to Thieves Town. We already skipped that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that is slightly unfortunate. Additionally, Thieves Town is one of the cave state big keys. So if we happen to come to this dungeon with no big key, that one would spare us. All right, another
Yeah.
SPC for Amarith coming up. Oops. Okay, this is okay in a sense. but
I mean,
she's
she
not
might
going
as well
for
have
it.
checked those Ganon's Tower chests. Well, if she was there, I mean, but
Yeah.
or not. Yeah, but she didn't mean to go through the door. Like that Samaria has two effects. You can go to GT or you can use it to skip the right side torches and just check the roller room more quickly. And that is an awful lot of heart piece duping.
It's pretty funny. We don't have a rule against duping items.
I mean, I've done this before too, and maybe with the mirror and the moon pearl, she's confident she's not going to lose time on death warping. Um,
So
Eventually they will just be rupees though.
that was a mistake. Unfortunately, Amarith hardlocked her game. We have to
Uh,
mirror after that STC.
yeah, the exit transition is that's too corrupted. I don't actually know the technical details of that, but you aren't supposed to leave. That's unfortunate. Um,
Yeah.
so
Um.
does she not have the desert crystal as well anymore, from the looks of it?
Yeah. I would be surprised if there was a save after that crystal.
Yeah,
So
because she mirrored and did not death warp at all.
right. Oh, that's rough. Um. I would repeat the same thing because it is nice to get that moon pearl. We don't know if dot dot will ever get that, to be honest.
Dotdot choosing to save and quit out of the right side of pod, not going to backtrack to do the boss, but be knowing that it's a pendant, I am not terribly surprised, but just making a note of it. Perhaps we'll finally get to find out what's in the desert big chest. I mean, it's probably nothing, but you never know until you check.
True.
Dotdot is doing a citrus clip to do a Death Mountain descent, and that was pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to descend the mountain, especially when we have mirror. And yeah, that was a good one. Okay, here. This is an interesting case. We have a bow on the bumper ledge, so dot dot can
Bow.
collect that.
I'm
And
sorry, I'm just laughing because he just skipped the bow and now finds a bow.
oh yeah, that's right. The bow still has use for ancilla glitches and as a weapon, so we might still want it. Um, dot
I
dot
would
can.
definitely pick it up. It's good for Vitreous. It has less value as Ancilla because we have Samaria, but it's still a good item, though.
One thing I would be okay, we gotta be careful. We got a murder dactyl coming after us. Okay, we
It
survived.
was intentional damage, just setting up the Death Warp in Skullwoods.
That's right. We
I'm
do want
sure
that.
it was all under control.
Yep. Um, I'm not nervous. So, um, so bumper ledge. We do have the opportunity to get a super bunny state from bumper ledge item, but dot dot did not go for that.
I mean, that's a good point. I used that recently because I was like very short on glitching items in a siege. I used it
Hmm.
to go open Mire because I had no Moon Pearl.
Right. Yeah, it's one of the one-time link states you can achieve if you have to do it.
Yeah, it's a little awkward because nobody's used to doing boots clip queues with a bunny spray, but it's, just count your, it's just four to the left. Is all you need to know, and if you're around the right spot, it works. I missed where that fire rod was. That could have been a while ago. But dot, it makes sense that he's in Skullwoods, knowing that it's a crystal, and maybe someone in chat can enlighten us as to where that fire rod was. It might have been in pod. In pod, yeah. Thank you, Tam. Shout
Okay, I
outs to our
missed that.
tracker, doing an amazing job.
I'm so glad Tam is here as tracker to help us watch the race. Watching is hard.
I mean, there were only a few places it could have been, but obviously very nice to get the confirmation.
Yes.
But Tam also noted that there was a second bottle in pod, so that's going to potentially be quite important if dot doesn't find the moon pearl or the hook shot or some other glitching item, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, and we should have talked about this sooner. Dot may be in go mode here. So dot is known for doing very low percent item clears. If we know that dot is in go mode, it's very possible he won't go open any more chests. I mean, that's the definition of go mode, right? But in no logic, there's usually a sliding scale where you keep opening chests for safety.
Now, there's always that voice in your head that says, well, this one's on the way. It's, especially because there are a number of items left in the pool that could be helpful. Like Hookshot would be extremely helpful. Moon Pearl would be pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think dot wants a sword because I've talked to dot and dot hates Master Sword boss fights, especially Ganon,
Yeah.
which is not an uncommon sentiment.
Oh. Dot takes some damage and gets boosted into the spike wall.
Yeah, I learned recently, much to my displeasure, that it's possible to get stuck in one of those corners, like,
Oh,
if you're really unlucky.
that sounds
I
right.
never saw that before the other day.
Knowing
But
this
it gets the
game.
fight done, though. So this is a situation I've wondered about. So if you're in fake Dark World, do you think it's faster to mirror twice, like dot did, or would you just save and quit at that point?
Hmm.
I've seen people go both ways on that.
Yeah, I'd like to time it. I've been wondering myself.
Okay, so dot setting up a nice bomb clip. This is one of my favorites. Doing a sub-pixel correction.
Now we just defeated Moth. Is that a problem? No, it's not. So that bomb
Maybe the
can
flute.
boost
Did the
us.
flute reset? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So we have to have the bomb blast at the right altitude, basically. I'm not sure how to describe it, but sometimes it doesn't boost us the right way.
Yeah, sometimes the bomb blast will knock you downwards, even if you're approaching the explosion from above it, in which case you would not be able to clip. I know for sure that the upgrade fairy will
Yeah.
change the variable. And I thought Moth did as well, but clearly dot did not have an issue, so I don't know if it was because the flute may have reset the variable, or I'm honestly not sure, because I had a problem with that recently.
Right. So Amarith is using bomb snaps. I don't know if I mentioned this, but we can clear door state essentially by getting hit. It also stops us from. Okay, this is a little bit of a trouble missing that. Okay, Amarith will try again.
That's unfortunate. If she didn't pick them up, there were at least like 2 or 3 hearts, like in the area, like underneath pots. But also, if you're, a little bit crazy like me, you could just select buffer the YBA. That's my backup when I run out of bombs. It gets the
I've been
job
there
done.
as well. Yeah. I don't really know the walking cues very well, so it's pretty hard to just know. It's also safe, though. If you do know the cues, using select buffering for YBAs is always safe in that you can't use your potion too early, as long as you know that you'll transition next frame.
Yep, correct. Yes. Oh, dot is setting up a glitch called Death Hole Argus. And so the Samaria transition corruptions often create invisible holes we call STC pits. And there's another glitch called a death hole where if you
Ooh, I
use the
like that.
1.0 mechanic and die as you're falling into the hole, that has a lot of strange effects. In this case, we're going to use it to reach the Argus boss room.
And we have to avoid a hole. There we go. Dot is taking intentional damage to take down Link to 1/2 heart. I really like what dot did prior to setting this up. And there's the death hole. He's now invisible. He has to navigate this hallway, which has invisible holes. And one great thing was that he defeated the devil ant, and that that makes it far less annoying because that thing will shoot fireballs at you, causing you to fall into the holes.
Yeah, I always kill both of them when I do this because one of those fireballs has knocked me into the hole once, and you have to redo the whole thing. Very annoying, but it also demonstrates the camera manipulation to skip the first phase of the boss fight, and it has a
Mm-hmm.
very quick fight.
Very nice. And we're stuck in the boss room, and that's because we already have the prize of the dungeon, which is the dungeon we entered, desert. So dot saves and quits there. We can, and fun fact, we can only mirror out of 2 boss rooms after defeating a boss, Eastern and Landmo. So that is our only option, save and quit.
So what do you think that dot's plan for the swamp crystal is going to be? I think
Right.
he's going to demonstrate the buffered fate clippers that he's been
I
trying to teach us on Discord that I am very terrible at doing.
Right. So shout outs to dotdot for really showing how we can use fake clippers with select buffering. And I would expect that to happen. Malmo has picked it up. It's very race feasible, basically. And here's the spin STC for Amarith. Believe? Yes? All right, we may have missed a step. We have
She didn't
full
transition to the super
graph.
tile afterwards, and because of that, the last transition was a fade transition, which is what causes VRAM for these type of glitches.
Yeah, she did have a save recently, and she may have saved and quit there. I couldn't hear.
Yeah, you can save and quit when this happens. I did this as well, but not in this room, but I was
Oh
using the North
yes,
Samaria to copy the roller room chest, and I did it from standing in like the lava room,
this
and
is
I
hype.
forgot. I forgot.
We have an upward conveyor for dot. This is gonna be Ice Palace. I'm pretty sure. Dot just
Yeah, I
showed
don't
us
think where
how
else you
this
can
is
go
possible.
from here. Oh, why beating up the chicken? What's going on here?
I don't get that. Um. Oh, wait. Wow. He got it extremely fast. There's a very specific pixel, an X coordinate that dot lined up on, and got it very quickly. So
Well, this
basically,
this is pretty slow and arduous compared to
it
just
is.
doing a YBA. Why do you think that dot is choosing this method of entry to Ice Palace?
Well, I think
Just for swag?
potentially, yeah, and maybe. Oh, I saw a downward. Okay, dot might cancel. Um, yeah, like Tam is saying, I think it would be to have a spare potion at this point, because all it takes is the 2 bottles. One to get, we might normally do a YBA from the well to Ice Palace. Then we'll do a YBA to get to Gold Stair. And I love this setup too.
Not giving up, yeah. The bomb drown conveyor, not wasting any magic or arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, it's failing this takes time. Setting it up takes time. So um, there may be some time loss here, but that's okay. I don't understand this part. I have a theory though, and that is maybe that's a way to clear EF, which I didn't know if that was possible. This is just a theory, just based on watching.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, that's an address that we have to be careful about. Because how we it's like so it's like part of the game's code that we don't really think about, but it has to do with your layer, and how the game handles that, as well as your dungeon ID. So when we do a spin and fall, there's something that's not set, that dot needs to be careful of. So it might have to do with that. So we went to do a spin, and there we go. The spin allows us to not get pit state, basically. So not having pit state means we're not clearing the clipping state. So we want to continue clipping. So that's what dot is doing, clipping to the next room, Ice Palace.
And there are situations where this might be like the only way to do this without looking for more items. But the reason why I was questioning it was like because dot has 2 bottles, so you can do one potion glitch to get into the dungeon and one to the boss. I mean, this is perfectly fine too, but it just surprised me is all. And as bad as it feels for dot feeling that the first time, um, it might tighten our race up just a little bit, hopefully. But
Yeah,
dot is on a pretty good pace though.
definitely. Slowly but surely. Meanwhile, Amarith is now gaining ground that she had previously lost. So, so she's going back. I forgot what was here. I think we saw it though.
Well, she got the Moon Pearl and Chomps, and
Right.
this was where she decided to save and quit because of accidentally transitioning to Ganon's Tower. And
Oh, that's right.
if
That
you're
was a mirror.
if you're nervous about this kind of thing, you can actually like select buffer the SDC. It's usually not necessary, especially for just doing one. But if you want to be 100% safe about it, you can buffer it to make sure you don't walk too far.
Yeah. So we saw Amarith dupe hearts again, and she doesn't have a second row of hearts, but we did collect a lot again.
Yeah, she has less hearts than dot.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Okay, so What would we do next if we were in Amarith's shoes? Oh, okay.
Oh,
This
she's
is a
doing a
mirror
mirror
clip.
clip.
Oh, I like that.
So this is
So,
probably a Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave play.
yeah, I could see that. So this is an in logic glitch. Oh, we missed the turn. We're unfortunately stuck here, basically. We need a dash turn there to dash onto the little floating island at the bottom. And what we can do normally is hop off of it downwards and link screen wraps to the top, right on top of the floating island.
Oh, dot wisely bringing a key to the right side of Ice Palace. I'm not sure if they had to collect one for it or if they already had one, but that's an easy mistake to make if you don't have the hammer to just go over there and be locked out. So do you think dot knows the jingle glitch dupe method?
To refill the hair lobby,
Yes.
I would say yes, but I would have probably taken advantage of it before Cold Stare. So signs are pointing to no. Um, on the other hand, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there will be some other solution.
I mean, yeah, if dot wants to go mode with Master Sword, I'm all for it, but I just know from past conversations that dot loves swords, so I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be surprised if we see a tree warp or something like that to dupe the sword, even if it is late in the seed. But maybe he won't go for it. I don't know.
Right. Um. So, we'll maybe find out in an interview, if possibly.
Yeah, we'll ask if it was a consideration. A mushroom on Cold Stare. Maybe that's a sword.
Maybe.
So Amarith having all three medallions now, finding Quake and Crystal
Ah,
Roller, that's one of the last things that may be a potential edge for her. It
yeah,
still hasn't gone to Pod to get the sword,
yeah,
nor duped the Hera sword.
yeah. There is a way to do Mireless Medallion. Excuse me, Medallionless Mire, but it takes a long time. So having the medallion really helps. Oh, I like this mirror clip, but for some reason it's finicky. You have to kind of know the pixel.
I was actually going to ask you if this works. I've never seen it from that particular ledge, actually.
Yeah, I found the pixels before, but never really committed them to memory.
That's kind of an obscure, like, routing thing, but it is interesting. I mean, obviously, she wanted to go try to do that hookshot cave clip again, is why she was trying to do that, though.
Right. Okay, dot's going into Eastern. I think this means Meyer. What do you think?
I think if you're gonna convey her to ice, you should convey her to Meyer as well, but...
I'm with you.
Um, but there are some advantages of going this way. Like, it's not necessarily faster per se, it's similar, because you still have to go to Eastern and go through the dungeon, but you can
Yeah.
exit and immediately check the medallion, is the advantage of going this way. Maybe forgot about the potion requirement, or...
Yeah.
I thought they went shopping already.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So basically, if Dot has two bottles, he can use one to YBA from Eastern to Meyer, and another to YBA from Meyer to Aga Tower, and then use the mirror to spin YBA to Vitreous. But we're not going to see that today. At least not right now, because Dot saves and quits. and we're going to the mountain instead.
Meanwhile, Amarith doing a YBA to go from Desert to Thieves Town, and going to take advantage of the Desert Big Key to open some doors in Thieves Town. Oh, this is a fake flute setup. I wonder where dotdot is going. The Hype Cave? Or to check the Maya medallion.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's kind of interesting. This decision could be, it could help him do both things.
Yeah, Hype Cave is hard to resist because it's 5 items, but not going for it though. Yeah, this is a straight to Meyer. Like,
Oh, I didn't see dotdot dash through grass as a super bunny. That would be dangerous, because a bonk would take away your super bunny state. For anyone who
that
doesn't
is
know,
a very good point, yeah.
yeah, and Link gets super bunny whenever he lands. That's part of the principle of
It is Quake!
wow.
Oh my god! Dotdot is facing a bit of a hurdle here. That's gonna slow him down.
Oh. But dotdot doesn't do hype cave or any checks at all. Um, this is go mode behavior. But yeah, but yeah, dot's not wasting any time, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with Malmo. For all dotdot knows, Quake could have been in Meyer's shed. I mean, we know that it's not, but it could have been.
Right.
Or a sword could have been there. And both of those would save a lot of time.
Okay, so this is interesting. I think this is what you mentioned before.
Yeah, this is the conveyor setup. Oh.
Yeah. At least it's a setup.
Oh, they're doing the waters. Oh, you were already
Yeah.
standing up there with a bow and Samaria. This is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess maybe he's not comfortable with the other setups because he does this one so much, but like you're standing right there. So, anyways, for those that don't know, that there's an upward conveyor we can do. It takes us into the Lost Woods, and you can clip the way he clipped through the well. We can clip through the Thieves' Hideout to get to Meyer, and it's actually used in the All Bosses vanilla speedrun because the Samaria, King of Samaria, is needed early in the run for lots of reasons.
Yeah. So a lot is happening here. So dotdot is in Lost Woods right now. This is a map wrap that takes us there. And by the way, to get out of the clouds, dotdot used a diagonal where there was some splashing water, the clouds. But we can get into clipping state and get back onto the bridge. So now dotdot has again to fall into a hole, uses the spin to avoid the pit state, unlocks a guard which can hit us but doesn't matter once we're falling. Okay, so now dotdot is careful to stop before
Yeah, I was
falling.
really close to falling into the pit. But didn't do it though, and also worth noting that that spin release is a 2-frame window, not a frame perfect, but still,
Yes.
pretty nerve-wracking to hit that at times.
And it's funny that the only free chest on our way is the big key chest. So dotdot does have the ability to check that, but won't be checking anything else. Just wants to take care of the boss. Oh,
Yeah.
we get a Muffins dash from Amarith. Thank you for that. Glitch runner meme
I missed
from
it.
Center Tourney days. I agree with Tam that maybe doing Desert Vitreous would be faster. And there is a South YBA we can do that puts us in the basement. So that would probably be faster, potentially.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I just wasn't thinking of it earlier. But yeah, it's because dot dot definitely has the desert big key because it was on Landmo. But honestly, this Meyer conveyor is one of the coolest tricks in the game, so I'm happy that they did it though.
I am too. Okay, so Amarith is now going into Spectacle Rock. This is Geeky Skip. It'd be... Not sure what's next. Not sure if she checked Pod yet. No, I guess not, because...
No, because she doesn't have the sword or anything else that was good there.
Yeah, Fire Rod. Okay, so this
Second
is a
bottle.
good play. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it always feels bad going to Pod this late though, because Pod is kind of like more commonly checked than Kakariko in this mode, I feel like. So it's a pretty safe bet that your opponent has already been here if you're coming here like post 1 hour, but there are probably some edge cases where that may not be true, but I don't know. I've been burned by skipping Pod before. I mean, I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Amarith gets Kiki Skip. She lines up a pixel, and there happen to be a lot of valid pixels, but it's hard to just identify them on the fly. So there are a couple of different setups. So she went with the walk to the pixel strat. So far I've found 32 valid pixels, and some of them, in fact most of them, take an additional buffer at the end to make them work, but there is more to learn about that.
32? Are you including the ones that work for like the old way with the buffer into the teleport, or just the instaclip?
I'm not. They're all instaclip pixels.
Oh really? That's way more than I would have guessed.
Yeah, me
I haven't
too.
missed it in a long time, but that's surprising information.
Yeah, because I thought
So
there would just
dot
be
having a bit of
10
a crisis here with decision making, it looks like. That was just an ice rod in that chest. She doesn't need it. I mean, she doesn't know that she doesn't need it, but yeah, forgetting to. Maybe was the cave state key lost because of the hard lock, maybe? I'm pretty sure she did the castle, at least partially.
But the funny thing is she'll get the key right here.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Will she... Oh, maybe she doesn't know that that's also... Oh, no, there it is.
Yeah.
Backtracking to check the chest. I mean, you almost have to do this. You're gonna be like, I wonder what was there the whole time if you don't do it.
Yeah, I would be flustered if I were here not realizing or just not remembering that I needed the big key from...
the sword slash.
Excellent.
It says it all. Yeah, you do make a good point, though. These races can be quite stressful. The clock's always ticking. And every mistake like weighs on your mind.
For sure. All right, now it's dot's time. So this is the teleport setup. This is the old school setup. We'll see a upward buffer and then a teleport very quickly. Very nice.
Alright, so this routing from dot tells me that he's going for the Meyer crystal dupe before the swamp dupe. And has potions and is ready to get it done, it looks like.
So dot is in
Although,
cave
actually,
state.
yeah, actually, I was about to say, this isn't gonna work, though, because you need the pod dungeon ID. Oh, this is to unlock the door
Could it be to
first?
unlock? Oh, do we need to unlock the Hera big key door? Yeah, that might be the case. I'm also
Yeah, if
wondering
they don't have
about.
the pod big key, then yeah, that is the case.
I'm also wondering about Swamp. Could it be that we are unlocking Swamp here too?
Probably, yeah, now that you mention it. Probably plans to do the first trip in Cave State. Did dot flood the dam? Because they could have done all this in one trip if that's the case.
Um, I I'm just not sure if that would be the plan because we have to um we have to delete the door, right? So I'm not sure how to navigate from there.
Well, dot doesn't have to delete the door for Swamp if they're planning to do the fake clippers.
Ah,
But they definitely need
well,
to delete the door for Meyer because we don't have hook pushing.
right.
But Amarith is showing what's called an East Auto Door Bomb Juke. It's a little bit of a tricky thing. But I'm
It is.
curious actually why she's doing this though, because with Moon, it goes to Hookshot Cave if you do that, but she can just go to Hookshot Cave because she has Glove and Moon Pearl. Well, not that
Yeah,
you need the Glove, but it makes it
it's,
easier though.
it really does. Okay, so dot is unlocking Swamp. So we are checking the bomb wall chest.
This is kind of a slow check, but I understand like going back and forth. It'd be like with the go mode, I'm not in go
Mm-hmm.
mode kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. We're getting closer to the part where it's like we have very few actual chances to check anything.
And
All right, so
Data
that's
did flood the dam before doing this,
oh,
which is good. Means you can
okay,
do this all in one trip for at least for the swamp crystal.
okay. This is perfect.
I'm curious how long this is going to take. Not that I doubt dot skill, but I just am legitimately curious. I know it's faster than the alternatives, but
Well, 1:17:38 start. So dot's making progress. Meanwhile, we
yeah,
have
these look like really clean buffers. Yeah,
they do. Wow.
yeah, that was perfect so far. I think that was past the hard part.
Yeah, it
Well,
was.
aside from the enemy manipulation part, but past the hard part of the glitch, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, there
And
is.
now this part, dot cannot get hit at all until he's downstairs, and makes it
Perfect.
look easy.
There we go. Safe. All done in less than a minute.
Yeah, that was extremely impressive. I might have to look at this again now that I have a non-broken controller. Like, I couldn't do this at all before with my other controller select button the way it was.
Okay. So we get the YBA. That's good. Dot's now in Hera. And this means we can dupe the crystal of Swamp. However, have we defeated Moldorm yet? This may be our
I don't
first fight.
remember, but I just want to re-emphasize this to the audience. What dot did is actually extremely difficult. He made that look so trivial. I'm really
Oh yeah,
impressed by that.
100%. Oh! Moldorm turns. Ganon's Tower, often a good play, no logic. And Amarith is able to access a lot of chests. Maybe not some of the hammer-locked side.
Well, with a combination of potions and juking, you can get most of them
Mm-hmm.
without the hammer, to my knowledge, but some of them are pretty tricky. Or like
Yeah.
some of them are not worth the time to do, in my opinion. Like the fire snake's room. It,
Yeah.
you can get it if you really want to, but do you really want to?
No, I don't. Okay. So, time for ice armors.
Hey, a bottle in Bob's chest. Always good to see those. Even if you don't need another one, they provide, additional safety for both like backup potions for glitches and for, boss fights.
Oh, where was Berna? Amarith appears to not have that, so is forced to use the sword, and it's the worst sword too
Ooh,
for Master
those
Chief.
tricky damage tables.
Yeah, the Samaria block that's sitting there will do better than the slashes.
Yeah, that is true. Although I don't know if it's necessarily faster, but the spin will do tempered damage, which is substantially more than slashing.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't remember where Berna was. It's marked on the tracker, but maybe she reset it away, or maybe she forgot she has it. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out.
Oh, okay. So dotdot is now working on Misery Mire. Did we see the South Samaria to delete the sewer door? No, because we're doing it in the quadrant glitch method. I see, I see.
Okay, and if you watch this back it's faster to run around the top and jump down, and then you can hit all of them into the pit with a sword swipe. But if you don't know, now you know.
It is kind of funny that Quake was in TR. But regardless, dotdot does not need it. So we achieved a quadrant glitch and can use a North Samaria here and then fall down into Hera with a nice
This is
wrong
another
warp.
way of achieving, the same wrong warp. Oh, hammer behind Ice Armos.
Helping us clear
That's
the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah, that's fairly convenient, yes. Okay, so but Dada needs to do both juke the door and do a South Samaria.
Mhm.
Because this will correct the camera, well, for the most part. I just
Yeah,
know that it's required. The camera won't be fully correct, but it will be. Basically, if dot transitions right now, the whole glitch has failed and he has to start over. So, like, this juke is necessary. It just so happens that doing a South Samaria also deletes the door we need to delete. Uh, Shout outs to Taj, though, for discovering this particular method of doing it.
I don't really understand what dotdot just did because I would have continued down, so I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah, you could push the block through the door, because you're already juked when you have the South Samaria set up.
Uh-huh.
At least that's my understanding of it.
Yeah. So that appeared to be what we wanted, and now we just need to correct the camera. So we can lock it there, back on where Link is.
And Data also doing it without select buffering. Well, when I do this, the screen is going to look very messed up because I will corrupt the graphics just because I think it's easier, but like now that not seeing is easier, I mean it's easier to execute the glitch without transitioning.
Right. It also costs a bit of time sometimes to corrupt the graphics. Okay, so one more hurdle left for dotdot. That is the YBA into Hera. So that will be done in the key route room.
It has the mirror available for backup if dotdot knows how to set up a south mirror door. It's a little bit of a weird thing that's not normally done, but
Oh
hopefully we
yeah.
don't need it.
All right. He gets the YBA. Very
Well, that was
nice.
quick.
Yeah. So there we go. With that, this should be dotdot's last crystal. Meanwhile, it looked like there was value in G Tower since Amarith found the hook shot. That's really nice. And might
Yeah,
be
she's
helpful.
not going to have to do any shenanigans with Swamp at all. She can just do a single hook push to get the crystal.
Yeah. So dotdot has only Agatu and Ganon left as far as I can tell.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
Meanwhile, Hera clip a Hera pot for Amarith.
Well,
Okay,
it looks like
dotdot's in the
dotdot is
cloud.
setting up a conveyor to go to
Mhm.
Turtle Rock to go to Agatu,
Oh, there we
which
go.
will
That
make
looked
sense in
good.
time.
Yeah, well done. That's a downward. Oh, wow. It didn't even look like dotdot touched a slope, but apparently did. I'm not familiar with that geography.
Yeah, I would definitely not do it that way myself if you have Bo and Samaria, but
So
dotdot is good at it though.
watch this. There's the bunny zip. So that's a very fast Turtle Rock climb. And here we are. We need to get back into clipping state and clip down onto this ledge. All we need to do is push Link to the right on the slope.
I never thought to use this side. I use the other side even when I'm going to the top bridge.
Yeah.
Huh. That could save some time. 'Cause I always scroll the screen to make sure the Lionels are not shooting at me anymore.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see if it was Ganon's tower, but Amarith overtook dotdot in heart count. 14 to 12. Okay, so Amarith is going into Eastern Palace. Could it be? Yes. Looks like a hook push to get to Armos.
A little bit of a... Okay, there it is. So, by putting a Samaria block into slot 9, basically it normally would go in slots 1 through 4 or 5, but by putting them in the back slots, it allows us to manipulate data that lets you do what you just saw.
Yeah.
That's the
Meanwhile,
simplest
dot
way I can
dot.
explain it.
And I would talk more about it too, but dot dot just did a lava dive, which is a wrong warp. Although we don't necessarily have to use any glitches, any door glitches to get into that position. We just have to fall into the lava, and that takes us to Agatu.
So it was an interesting developmental choice by Miyamoto to make Aghanim 2 living inside the lava.
Yeah. Add some lore that we didn't know about. Alright, so on to Ganon. It is Master Sword Silverless, and dotdot is on 4.5 hearts. I'm not sure what safeties we have.
Well, let's see if he goes to get the fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the shopping. I don't know if he refilled potions after that. I think probably not, because after you get the last crystal, you're on the mountain already. So it's just like, ready to go to Turtle Rock. You know, we always talk about the hook shot for glitches, but the hook shot is a really, really good safety in a Master Sword Ganon fight. You can cheese this so hard with those iframes.
That's so true. And a lot of people use cape, but I hardly know how to use cape compared to how I use the hook shot. So it is very useful.
Yeah, that's a good point, because dot dot has the lamp magic is less of a concern, so the cape is
Hmm.
quite
Oop,
usable.
Ganon gets in the way of our charging a spin. Here we go. Good position for dot dot. And we're not in go mode or strict go mode yet for Amarith. She is checking more.
But dot dot doing the grabbing the wall with the cape to conserve magic when he was up in the corner there. Yeah, very smart to be conservative with that. It's a lot easier to use the fire rod if you can for phase 4 than the lamp. Lamp
Mhm.
triples are pretty tricky, very tight timing. Possibly not even possible on certain RNGs.
Yeah.
Oh, but Dot Dot did a nice job though, getting past the first 2 phases. The rest of this is just not falling asleep, I guess. It's a
Hmm.
long, long phase 4, and Ganon's, you know, showing us a lot of warps too.
Yeah, right at the end. Oh, Misery Mire. Wonder where that was. Okay, Mothula's down.
This is good routing from Amarith, and knowing that it's easier to get the Swamp Crystal if Mothula is already dead, for reasons that we may or may not see later, but
Mhm. Slowly but surely, Dot Dot is taking out Ganon, chipping away at his health. Okay. So Amarith uses a YBA. That's what I mentioned earlier, a common way to get into Ice Palace. And Ganon is down.
very well played by Dot Dot.
GG's to Dot Dot.
Finishing with an official race time GG time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 28 seconds. GG and congratulations. The Master Sword Ganon fight, very not trivial. Had a little bit of safety, but still, you know, still could go off the rails.
Meanwhile, bomb clip for Amarith using the bomb clip setup, the bonk that allows us to skip some of Ice Palace. It's really nice that it allows us to hit the crystal switch as well on our way through the palace.
Yeah, that is convenient.
Shout outs to 1, 2, 3, 4 rupees. We need this key. Oh, it's nice that we can grab this.
Getting 20 rupees to replace the heart piece that would have been there. Oops. Wait, I mean, why did you not just use Samaria block, though? Oh well. Not a huge deal.
We will see dotdot in the interview booth shortly. Okay, so dotdot is asking where the interview booth is. My thought was that he would get an automatic invite since he was marked winner. So
Usually that is the way it goes, yes.
we'll see if they get a DM. Dotdot may have been the first to the Triforce, but will he be the first to the interview booth? So, brief technical difficulties, and we'll see what happened to the Discord invite. So Amarith is going into Agate Tower. This is interesting. Not sure what is going to be found here. Oh, there we go. Hello, dotdot. GG,
Hello.
congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And congrats.
And
So that was a very impressive fake clippers, I have to say. Like, those were all
you.
perfect, very clean buffers. It checks time due to be less than a minute getting it done.
Yeah, I was practicing that before the race because my select buffering hasn't been great recently, but I managed to get it in shape. I was sad I failed the conveyor to ice. That was bad select buffering as well.
yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Getting a second try was nice to show off. So,
Yeah.
can you tell us about the chickens in Kakariko?
Oh, yeah, I was slashing like part of the dirt, which sets the sword activated tile thing to the right value. Like
Okay.
that patch of dirt there works.
I didn't realize there were different kinds of tiles.
Yeah.
So that's a good one to slash to get set up. That's really interesting.
That is interesting. And for people that don't know, there are sword activated tiles that set bad values for this sort of thing. So apparently dotdot knows that there are ones that change it to a good value, which I didn't know was a thing either.
Yeah, normally I would use an interior room to clear that value.
Yeah. I don't think sword activated tiles will ever clear it, but it can set it to like only dungeon ID swap, which is what I do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You just have to be careful to not open the map in the dungeon.
Yeah, right. Opening the map would essentially corrupt your game data a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure what the effects are.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I ended up panicking a little towards the end because there was like so much I had to do. Because I had to like get rid of the Hera Big Key door.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it on the same trip as going to Swamp.
And that
Oh,
was
here we
very
go.
efficient. I actually missed if you flooded beforehand, but you did. I thought it was good. Sorry, Chucks, go ahead.
So Amarith shows us what's in Meyer Hut. You could have made
Yeah,
a
I could have. I
last
know.
ditch.
As soon as I save and quit, I was like, why did I not get my
Yeah,
machine?
that happens. That happens. So flippers were there, but hey, you showed off a really good fake flipper, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because flippers don't do anything for Amarith because hook pushing is already faster than using the flippers, but
Yeah.
Where was the hook
I
shot?
mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Hmm.
It was in Ganon's Tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And
The 118,
what
how do you
else?
feel about that? Is this, I feel like that's a pretty low collection. I mean,
Yeah.
perhaps not by your standards, but
Yeah,
that's
I
pretty
committed.
low.
I did commit to go mode on like almost nothing because I didn't want to go to GT because I was like,
Mm.
I don't have the hammer. I have to find like so much. I didn't have Quake either, which was sad.
And by the way, the hammer is in GT behind Ice Armors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, did you give any thought to duping the Hera sword at all?
Yeah,
Like
as
during
soon as
the race?
as soon as I saw that, I was like, I wish I learned like the jingle glitch because I don't know it.
Right, right.
I was expecting a tree warp with a fake flute, but I mean, you didn't need it. But you know,
Mhm.
there's argument that if you would do the sword dupe early, you can get time
Yeah,
back on it though. So it's
if
kind of
Trinex
a
was if Trinex
sorry.
was
Go.
required, I would have duped it for sure. Because I struggle a lot with Masters or Trinex.
Yeah, I
Right,
do
that makes
typically
sense.
agree with you that Master Sword Trinex is worse than Master Sword Ganon, but having half magic though, I feel like you probably would have been fine, but
Mhm.
I don't know, but your comfort level with the fight though.
Yeah, you haven't seen me fight Trinex.
Not yet, anyway. Yeah, Marith shows us there is a sword in Meyer on the bridge chest.
Yeah, I think I should have checked Maya. Because I went in with Overworld Conveyor because I was like, I want to do the checks here, but then I just ended up ignoring them.
Yeah, silvers and a sword rather in here. There's an armory apparently. No, it's kind of awkward to do those checks when you come in like from the back like that, because if you don't have hook shot, like it takes a while to get around to that specific one that had the sword. So I don't know. I don't blame you for skipping that stuff. There's so many checks and no logic that are kind of like at your discretion. It's like Myers not like the worst place to check items, but it's not the most dense place either. It's all kind of a gamble. That's the way I see it.
I agree. I've had really bad luck with Meyer lately. It just hasn't gone my way. 4 occasions, but that's okay.
Yeah. I was really happy I went to Pod. That was a play I was happy about.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, Yeah.
For sure. It's kind of funny. Amarith had the big key, but there was a hard lock that set her back. So she didn't have the Hyrule Castle key anymore. So couldn't check the big chest at first, but then progressed through the dark maze, which had the Thieves Town big key. And with that, she was able to get back to the big chest that had the fire rod.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, though there were a lot of like little things here and there that I was laughing about, but like all of those things have also happened to me, so I don't feel bad at all for laughing about them.
Oh,
What
big
was it?
chest. Sorry. That
Oh,
was
go
Ice
ahead.
Rod. My apologies. Well, my story was good, even though it wasn't true.
Yeah, the second ice ride in the pod, big chest.
We do get a flippers route from Amarith. And with this, we don't have to do the death hole from desert.
Yeah, maybe she's not comfortable with it, or maybe just didn't cross her mind, but it is definitely faster to do the death hole into the hook push if you're trying to be 100% optimal.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the hook shot, you just get to Argus from here, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's certainly an option, but doing the dungeon manually like this is not faster though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd be doing what Amarith's doing too.
Well, I mean, I suppose because she picked up the desert prize already, it's not as convenient, but like you're not going to beat the speed of doing a hook push from the first room to pick up the crystals. Like it can't get any faster than that.
Amarith has found several 20s, and this is because she maxed out her heart pieces from the TR big chest.
Ah.
And it was quite entertaining. Unfortunately, she missed the part about resetting the dungeon before leaving.
Oh no.
So that was the hard lock.
Yeah.
And other thoughts on the seed dot?
Um. I don't think so. Not really. Like it was just very panic-inducing at the end because there was so much to plan without the hook
Right.
shot. Like you take the hook shot for granted when you get it, but when you don't, there's like so
Yeah.
much that goes into it. When you have to do like Flipperless Swamp and like Medallionless Maya.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, well done, Endgame. All right, so that appears to be all crystals for Amarith. So next up is Agatu and Ganon.
Where was the Moon Pearl, by the way?
Moon Pearl, that was in Turtle Rock.
Chain shops.
Uh,
And Quake was Crystal Roller, I think.
Yeah,
oh wow, that's so
Yeah.
huge.
yeah,
Yeah, Tam confirming.
time savers there.
Even the start of the seed was crazy. I think like the first two chests I opened were Lamp and Cane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, but the game was on Hylia Island. I know there were two good things in the first two chests.
Loot.
Oh, flute, yeah.
Yeah, the immediate flute.
Yeah. Yeah, Kane on Hylia Island. Then you went to, I think you were first to Kakariko, maybe? And
Yeah, I went there.
Mira's there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Red Boom was early. But we didn't really use it. Right.
Amarith possibly forgetting that the door was already open there. But I have definitely done that on numerous occasions.
Oh, Amarith didn't do bump a ledge. No bow.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was interesting.
And by merits of clearing a lot of things and getting lucky, she was able to hook push to Armostenites.
I'm very surprised that particular slash didn't reflect at Aga.
Oh, this fight is trash. Like, honestly, it should be patched out. The Ganon fight, on the other hand, I think is a very well-designed fight, though. A very fun fight. Even if we
I
are
agree.
using unintentional strats with the silverless spins.
Yeah. Speedrun strats. We even have hookshot if she chooses to employ them.
Yeah, she lost her patience. Just gonna cape it.
Sure. Ooh, we get a Ganon hug. That's okay.
It's treated to the same million warps.
Yeah. Oh, right.
A little bit of a pause on the funny message for having no bow.
Right. So that's kind of funny too, because Amarith doesn't get to find out that the other bow is at Meyer, and she also missed the bumper ledge one. But that's trivial. We should be near the end. And there's the last hit. GG to Amarith for finishing out the seed.
GG.
Yeah, a very strong showing of, not giving up despite having some problems.
And we are joined by Amarith. Hello, GG.
Hello.
GG.
GG.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
And that was too bad about the hard lock. How
Yeah,
did you
you-
feel about
You ever
that?
you ever just walk out a door not thinking what you're doing?
Right. Yes, I have. every day. So, that was a great find. Regardless, putting that aside, you got some safety there, so that saved you time. Moon Pearl followed by Quake, and Dot Dot did not go that way. But that's quite an interesting difference in routing. So
Yeah, I've been trying to make a lot of time going to change comps lately because it's just I don't know. The last several games I've played, just always something seems to be there. So
yeah, it's hot,
seems so.
hot spot. Yeah. So GT also a good play. You got a hook shot out of it, and later flippers, and these are all items that Dot Dot missed, but he was able to complete the seed regardless. So very cool to see another way, another solution through the seed. And
I just wanted to say, it was, nice to see you just, persevere and keep at it, because sometimes some of these setbacks, having faced many of them myself, in the past and still occasionally to this day, sometimes it's really annoying when you make some pretty bad mistakes, but no, played strong to the end, though. That was really nice. You weren't deterred.
Yeah, it's just kind of gotta let stuff not bother you as much, so or really get to you. I mean, I really love all this no logic stuff. It's been fun, so I just try not to get upset when I screw something up. So
yeah, that's good to hear. And how are you? How are you feeling in terms of getting into go mode? How do you know when you are all set, or when do you start slowing down, picking up items?
I'll usually keep poking until I'm comfortable. Like I really wanted to find. Well, I was just curious if there were any freaking bows in the seed at all. But
Oh yeah, that's right. We saw one on Bumper Ledge, and
okay.
so there's one, and Dot Dot was able to do that as a bunny, getting into position with the mirror clip. And then Gannon told us that the other was in Meyer. So Meyer was nice for picking up a sword that you found, but neither of you saw the bow.
Probably in like cutscene or something.
No,
It
that was
wasn't
the only chest
that
I
one,
got.
though.
That was the only chest in Myra I got. Because I did the overall conveyor.
Yeah, overworld conveyor puts you directly in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And any other thoughts on the seed from both of you?
I'd like to do it again, but without messing up NTR.
Fair.
Oh, actually, I had a question. So when you accidentally transitioned with the North Samaria, like, did you have any thought at all about maybe looking at the items in GT? Yeah, you can get, even if you can't hover, you can get at least one of them. I was wondering if that was a thought that occurred to you at all.
I thought about it, but I was just like, nah. Let's just go back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a very easy mistake to make as well, to, just like tap up a little bit too hard and then you transition.
That one especially just always feels like way too like it was like I was barely even holding that button and I hit the transition. So
You can do a select buffer if you want to be safer. I usually only do it for ones that are like double or like more like corruptions, but it usually does offer you more control because you'll stop moving when you hit the select button again. So I mean, and like I haven't seen anyone other than myself doing that ever, but it's an option if you maybe give it a try, see if you like it or not. Just letting you know.
yeah, maybe mess with it a little bit.
thank you both so much for racing, and it was a lot of fun to see the first race of the tournament. So, GG's to you both.
Yeah.
As
Thanks
GG.
for commentating. And thanks to the streamers.
Thanks for playing.
And we'll be back tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Same time.
Looking forward.
All right, well, thank you to Malmo for helping set up the stream. Thank you to Tam for tracking. Thank you to SpeedGaming. And any final thoughts, Chucks?
That's all for me. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night, everyone.